Hey, welcome back to the Backwoods Gourmet. It's Memorial Day weekend, so we got 3 things to do. Number 1, grill some meat. Number 2, drink some beer. And number 3, catch some fish. Hopefully, we can accomplish all 3. Grilling meat for us, that's going to take the most time. So we have our big Mac Daddy started up here, and she is creeping up on 225 right now. Going about an hour. So, and we already got started on the drinking beer part. So I just was checking my stores in there, and it didn't have any rub. So it's going to be a treat for you guys. I'm going to actually show you how to make my competition rub, and the only reason I'm going to do that is because I haven't been competing for a while, and so I finally decided to give it away. So y'all pay attention. Alright, here we go. You need a large bowl. This is going to make about 3/4 of one of these big shakers, so I keep the empties. We started out with 3/4 of a cup of firmly packed brown sugar and just kind of fluff that up. Alright, to that we're going to add another 3/4 of a cup of white sugar, and none of these measurements have to be exact. Okay. Okay. Next thing, paprika. Okay, all good rubs have paprika for color. This one's no different. It's going to be a 1/2 cup of paprika. So get approximately, I only have a 1 cup thing here, so 1/2 cup of paprika. Alright, now we need a 1/4 cup of sea salt. This is the coarse sea salt. Now I find this rub is very tame on salt, so you can put a lot in it. So don't be tempted to put more salt in there than what it calls for. Only a 1/4 cup. Coarse sea salt or kosher salt. Garlic powder. We got that somewhere around here. Right here. Garlic powder. 1/4 cup. Quarter cup garlic powder. Now that's your major ingredients, but the minor ingredients is what makes this good. Okay. Tablespoons. Here we have fresh ground black pepper. I just ground this. That's 2 tablespoons black pepper. Okay. Ground ginger. This is one of the things that I think that helps to really make this rub really good. This gets kind of lumpy on top, so I'm just kind of crushing it a little bit. I'm going to go 2 good tablespoons of ground ginger in there. You can really smell that when you put it in there. 2 tablespoons onion powder. And this is one of the things that you cannot buy commercially. Everything else here you can just get out of the jar. Rosemary powder, you have to take the rosemary leaves and actually grind them in a spice grinder, and that was all I had, so I'm not going to have quite 2 tablespoons, but it's 2 tablespoons. I got about 1.5 tablespoons. That'll work. And the last thing is accent. This really does, it says it wakes up food. Well, it actually wakes up this rub also, and really brings those flavors together. And it's 2 tablespoons of that. This is also part of my steak and brisket rub. If you're allergic to MSG, add 2 more tablespoons of sugar. It's not going to be as good, but it'll be better than leaving it out completely. Like, I don't know, some people say they're allergic to MSG, but if you are, leave it out. Alright, we're just going to mix all that together, and that'll be our rub for what we're cooking today, which is 2 beautiful pork butts. And we'll move on to that next. You just want to mix this up and knock all the clumps down on it. And there it is, Backwoods Gourmet competition barbecue rub. It's real lumpy. You spit in the food processor real quick. Alright, well, we got a rub made. Got it put in a container, ready to go. Now, let's go to my favorite little place to buy pork here in the community and get something to put it on.
¿Qué pasa, mi amigos? Grande. What? That's as big as you got? Pork butt? The bone in or boneless?
Alright, well, here are our victims. I wanted to get some bigger ones. This is what they had. They're untrimmed for the most part. I like to get them completely untrimmed, but they're getting harder and harder to find. You know, they're these days the packers are saving all the fat for sausages and so on, so they're trimming a lot of the fat off of these days before they even reach your butcher. See, when they buy them carbo bag like this. So we're going to go ahead and pull them out and take a look at them and see which one's our best candidate. Now, we're not going to cook both of these guys. Get rid of this. We're not going to cook all of both of these guys. We're going to cook one whole one, and then we're going to take the collar, which is this this part right here on the butt. You can notice it by this kind of a spiraled fat lines that are going through it. That's the money muscle, or what we call in competition the money muscle. We want to do one of those. We want to separate that collar and do it as a slicing piece. Now, see, this one here, it's definitely does not have a defined collar, but the collar is right there on this one. You can see these stripes going through it, but it's very small. So we'll probably just leave this guy here whole. He doesn't have a lot of fat on, which is disappointing. This one has a much better fat cap, a much fuller fat cap, and you can see that it's all been trimmed back. If you can get these that haven't been trimmed, much better. So that has a beautiful collar on it. So we're going to go ahead and I'll show you how to take that collar off. Let me set this one aside. So there is a kind of a fat line. You see, this muscle is round. It's a round muscle. So we want to cut it round also. So we can just kind of get in there. You're going to find layers of fat in there. It's not that important when you're doing this, but you do want to kind of make it round, because we're going to make this into a sliced pork. Okay, so we're going to cook that piece not as long as the rest of it. So we'll have a nice piece to make like a sandwich. So I'm going to actually just take a little bit of it off just to round it up a little more, and that's just for presentation. You don't have to do that. And take a little bit more of that fat off the bottom. And this is why I don't like it trimmed, because that bottom fat cap is like bacon. It's great. So we'll save the rest of this one either for sausage, or maybe we'll just cook it and save the other one. I haven't quite made up my mind yet. Now it's time to get them rubbed. Alright, we decided we're just going to do this, but this is a pretty good size one. And I don't have that many people to feed. So I'm going to use the large side of my shaker, and man, we are going to just work that in there. At this point, you want to get as much of that on there that will actually stick to the meat and stay on it. I like to do it in this tub. It really helps to control the mess. These are just a standard old bus tray. I think we got these at Restaurant Depot for like $3. And they're one of the most useful things I have back here in my little outdoor kitchen. We use them for picking veggies in the garden and doing stuff like this. We use them for washing the veggies. You know, you can flood them in there, get any dirt, bugs, or anything that might be on them off. So very useful tool for $3. You can get some of these. They sell them online. We got these from Restaurant Depot. So we're just going to completely coat them, guys, and you know, I like to roll them around in whatever's left in there. And I'm going to let them hang out here at room temperature for a little while, but that's going to be beautiful. Beautiful little log of savory, scrumptious pork. Alright, it's time to go on. We got our pros for Maverick in there. I'm going to go ahead right before I put that on there. Put that right dead center. That's my my collar, money muscle. Same with this guy. Put it right down in the center, not touching the bone. That's important. They don't read properly if they're touching the bone. Set that right beside it. Alright, we're at the 2-hour mark on these guys. 2.5 hours. The collar's running 144 and the butt's running 124. Let's just go in and take a look at them real quick. Yummy. Alright, so we had put a little water in there. That water is starting to dry up, so that's going to help them start developing a nice bark on the outside now, and that's what we want. And then we'll slowly bring this temperature back up as that water evaporates down about 225 before we open the lid. Alright folks, I'm looking at the Maverick here. This is a 160. Both of them are 160. So that's about the stall point. So we're probably going to leave that collar go, but we're going to take that butt and wrap it up. We're going to make pulled pork with that guy. Go ahead and pull that probe out. Use it handy. Bring them off of there. Beautiful. Let's set them in here, and then we're going to wrap them. Wrap them up tight. 2 layers of aluminum foil. One going one direction, one going the other direction. So we want it to be tight, tight as we can get it. It ain't easy working with these big gloves, but that sucker's hot. Okay. So to keep the grill from puncturing this foil, I'm going to go ahead and leave them in this pan. So we're going to press them tight, the whole pan, right back up on in there. And if you want to see what that collar looks like, it's beautiful right now. I'm going to let it go ahead and stay going. I think it's not going to stall like the big pieces. Almost forgot. You'll put our Maverick probe back in there, right down through the top, kind of a 45, down to the center of the meat. Make sure we're still monitoring the temperature. By the way, I didn't give you a time frame. It's been about 4.5 almost 5 hours since we put it on. So just watch that temperature. When that thing starts stalling out around, it'll stall anywhere from between 158 and 160 degrees. When that stops going up, that's when you need to wrap it. And we've been trying to keep the fire going at a pretty constant 250. Can go a little hotter if you want to speed up the process. Dinner's done, so time for the plate up. Alright guys, time for the plate up. We have our pork collar here. We're going to go ahead and give that a slice. It's probably a little overdone. You know, we got sidetracked with other parts of this meal, and it really took off. But it's going to be delicious, believe me. So first thing we're going to do is take some barbecue sauce. This is Rufus Teague barbecue sauce, Kansas City. I'm going to go ahead and put a couple of pieces of our collar right on top of that. So pretty awesome. And for sides, we made some green beans from the garden there. And some macaroni and cheese. Always great with barbecue. It's a beautiful plate from the Backwoods Gourmet. Hey guys, that pork butt was really awesome. Hope you guys try to make this at home. And as always, please subscribe, share, comment. Hey, if you like what we're doing, hit that like button. We'll see you next time.